Hello, football fans, and welcome to another beautiful edition of Locker Room on Voice of the People TV. I am Jerry Apeliohai, and today we're jumping into the most electrifying moments from the pitch as we've been joined by James and Mayowa as we break down the biggest matches that went down last night in the UEFA Champions League, talking about the hottest gist and, of course, all of the insider stories in the ever exciting world of football. And of course, get ready for top-notch analysis and all the scoops you need. This is one show you can afford to miss. All right, we'll start off from the home front. Definitely, we're looking at so many things going on, definitely. But they say charity begins at home. Welcome, James. Great to have you on Locker Room.
A very good evening to you, Jerry, and also to our audience. Good evening. Another beautiful day to talk football. We saw the old drama that unfolded yesterday in the world of the Champions League. We saw the Man City and Inter Milan one is a very surprising one for football lovers. We're expecting to see a lot of goals, but funnier it turned out 0-0. And we saw how Haaland was kept quiet for the whole 90 minutes again. And most fans are already coming for his neck, but we'll discuss more and more of that as the show progresses.
All right, and of course, Amira joins us virtually. Great to have you once again joining us on the Locker Room this afternoon. All right, a bit of some technical glitches there. Hopefully, Mayowa will join the fray as the show progresses this lovely afternoon. Let's start off from the home front where Nigeria's national football team, the Super Eagles, have maintained their 39th position on the FIFA World Ranking despite a strong start to their 2025 Africa Cup of Nations qualifying campaign. However, they have dropped one place to 6th in the African ranking, according to the latest rankings from FIFA. And under the guidance of caretaker coach talking about Austin Eguavoen, they grabbed the 4 points in those two games against the Benin Republic. And of course, definitely it looks so interesting as far as that one is concerned, where they beat the Benin Republic side and played out a draw against Rwanda in their recent matches. And next month, they will face Libya in a double-header as part of their 2025 AFCON qualifiers. Mario is with us. Great to have you join us on Locker Room. Hello, Mario. Are you with us? All right. Still waiting for Mario to be a part of the show. Let's talk about the rankings. Definitely no big surprises in that one. The Super Eagles, since the African Cup of Nations, the level of progress has been topsy-turvy. From that loss against Benin Republic, down to the game draw against South Africa, the issue of not having the coach, now going to the fact that Eguavoen came in, beating Benin Republic. And I think no much surprise that the Super Eagles didn't really move from the FIFA rankings.
This should not come as a surprise to Nigerians, considering the fact of how we have been since the last concluded AFCON. We saw what happened in the qualifiers, the World Cup qualifiers, where we practically played next to nothing. And credit to Eguavoen. I think the victory of Eguavoen and the draw he was able to secure in the second game is one of the things that made us still not move very far from where we were before. And considering the fact that this team has not been playing very well, I think it's fair for that we just drop down the spot and not beyond that. So I think they still have a lot to do to make it better. And this team is too blessed for us to be in that position. And we've made mention of that. I think the Super Eagles team is one of the most valued team in Africa. Looking at the set of players that we have currently, and we are struggling to make it in the FIFA ranking and not even getting good results, getting good match games. Now we are even coachless. That's even another thing. I think the NFF and the board just have to do better so that we can go in and do more, get much more victories, and maybe get a title at the end of the year.
All right, still more stories this summer where former Nigerian international defender talking about Taribo West has expressed doubts about the ability of interim coach Austin Eguavoen to succeed as the permanent coach of the Nigerian national team. And despite leading the Super Eagles to a 3-0 win over Benin Republic and a goalless draw against Rwanda in the AFCON qualifiers, Eguavoen's performance has not been good enough to convince West that he has the necessary qualities to lead the team on a permanent basis. Mayowa, it's good to have you join us eventually.
Yes, it's always amazing to be here. Sometimes Nigerian ISPs, they need to do something better. I mean, you cannot be paying through your nose and you are not enjoying, good
Yeah.
quality upload and download. But in any case, that by the side, it's always amazing to be here. I mean, the Champions League yesterday, a whole lot of teams. Inter Milan came out doggedly, and they were able to choke Guardiola and not allow Guardiola to do anything fantastic. Girona, the goalkeeper let Girona down. How do you concede that kind of a cheeky goal, that kind of a terrible goal in the last minute? I came in when you were talking about, Taribo West saying he doesn't believe in the ability of Eguavoen and the rest of that. I think in local parlance they call something bad belly, and for a lack of better word, I think it's just bad belly. I mean, somebody, despite the fact that we've been struggling for the past 8 months in terms of coach, in terms of getting a coach, the NFF has not helped matters. We've had 3 audio coaches and the rest of that. Eguavoen was appointed literally 3 days before that particular qualifier, and was able to give a good account of himself. The boys played excellently well. There, he was able to arrange the team. The team were able to maintain their shape, and that led to us, not falling very far away from the current FIFA ranking. I don't understand the kind of performance, Taribo West would expect from Eguavoen to be able to believe in his ability. Yes, you might say 2 games is not enough to judge, to judge a coach, and you don't know what the coach will do much later on. However, if we are to go by the kind of performance our boys have put in, we played 2 World Cup qualifiers under Finidi George, and the team was nowhere to be found. But under Eguavoen, the team showed class, they showed the intensity, they showed that they are really hungry, that they want to actually qualify for the Nations Cup. And also, there's a lot of unity that was displayed in that particular team. I mean, and Osimhen coming in very late and was still happy to do the job for Nigeria. So I understand what Taribo West is talking about. I think Taribo West should be ignored. Eguavoen, if they will give him the opportunity, they should probably tap him for that particular job. I don't think the foreign coach will do anything more than what Eguavoen has been able to do in the last 2 games.
All right, so be to play the Euroman job, talking about making it fair and square. He actually said that he has the technical abilities, talking about Austin Eguavoen, according to Taribo West. He said that in major tournaments, I want to quote him there, he said, where you expect them to cross the line, something always happens. What Eguavoen is lacking is only grace. Take that word, grace. And he said that while West acknowledged that Eguavoen's technical approach often brings out the best in the players, he stressed that results haven't consistently followed. The team will play well, but the results won't favor them, said West. And of course, that was one of my fears about Eguavoen, if you remember. When they went to the Nations Cup, played brilliant football in the round of, in the group stages, I beg your pardon, they took 9 points. All they just needed to do was to beat Tunisia in the knockout stage. And of course, we know how Maduka Okoye slipped, and that goal made the difference against Tunisia. And he made a whole mess of all the beautiful football the Super Eagles played. So that is what he was actually pointing at. But that would still be unfair to Eguavoen, who went as far as winning the bronze at the 2006 Nations Cup. And if you take a look at that, so it's just a missed fortune for Eguavoen as far as coaching the Eagles is concerned.
Looking at
but Jerry,
Yes?
the thing is this: what's the definition of grace? I mean, we need to start,
Grace is luck.
The thing is, I even see it as an angle that Taribo is coming from the angle that he does not have anybody strong to back him to get the job as the Super Eagles coach in the NFL.
You think that's the perspective he's looking at?
I think that's the angle he's coming from, because you can't tell me that he has not done enough to. He's not better than what we have been bringing in the past years. Look at all the coaches we have brought in: Granit Raw and Peseiro. Which of them have given a better performance than what Eguavoen has done?
He's not disputing his performance.
Yes, I'm saying that. So when you look at it, when you're not looking at it now, you say it's from the NFF angle now, that he does not have the backing of anybody that will stand and say, okay, Eguavoen should take the job. Eguavoen should do this best for a year. I think that's the angle Taribo West is coming from. Maybe.
No, but the thing is this: you said Eguavoen lacks the grace to be Super Eagles coach. What is the definition of grace? I mean,
grace is luck. That's stroke of luck to really get the team to get those extra results. You know, there are some teams who do very well in a match, but luck will just not be on their side. Maybe that's where he's looking, really pointing at.
But the thing is this: what has been the totality of the games Eguavoen has handled? The same person got us to the semi-finals, got us a bronze medal. It's a good example. Yesterday, I was talking about the Girona game. I mean, Girona played their heart out, and he took a little mistake from the goalkeeper, and that was it. Nigeria was dumped out in that particular Nations Cup because of a mistake from Maduka Okoye. I don't think that's because of grace. Sometimes you play very well and you lose. That's part of football. I don't think that's enough to say he lacks the grace to be Super Eagles. I really want to know exactly what he means by grace. Probably maybe he will need to provide more context, because to be honest with you, I don't think there is any grace needed to be able to coach the national team. I mean, the boys are playing well. They've been able to do fantastically well. Even the coaches, the so-called coaches that have grace, what have they done for us in terms of on the international stage? They've not really done anything for us. So I don't think, tying Eguavoen's capability to coach the Super Eagles, tying it to grace, I don't think it's appropriate, unless maybe it provides a context for us to be able to understand what his own definition of grace will be.
All right. Of course, maybe we'll ask Porter. We said Akoi grace, and that in everything you do, you need grace. And of course, if you go back to Two Faces' first album,
Grass to Grace.
Grass to Grace, of course, maybe that grace is
yeah, maybe
Taribo He's saying that he's not good enough.
Well,
he has everything fantastic, but when it comes to that extra grace to achieve the unimaginable, to at least complement all his efforts, is not always there. Maybe he needs to go and ask Two-Face
I feel like
how he got the grace to become a superstar.
The NFF should not leave what is in their short in Yoruba. Don't leave what is in your Sokoto. I'm going to the Sokoto. At this point, we have Eguavoen. You can give him a 1-year contract. You can give him a 6-month contract. Let's see what he's going to do with the boys in the next 6 months or in the next 1 year. Instead of us going around the bush looking for, we have gone to Germany, we have gone to UK, we have gone to Spain, and we have all these journeys, and we have not been able to produce one coach. And this coach is not like they're going to come and they're going to give us something exceptional, something that our local coach cannot do for us. I'm still going to be advocating for these local coaches. Yes, Finidi didn't do a good job the last time he was in power, but now we have somebody that has been able to tinker the boys for 2 good games. Comparing Eguavoen's first 2 games with Finidi's first 2 games when he was the interim coach, you will see it was the difference is very, very clear. Eguavoen showed a coach that knows what he's doing, and the unity and the style of play was actually obvious compared to what Finidi did in the first 2 games. Like, I'm trying to remember, most of the players even left camp angry that he made them travel from their club side and he didn't even give them playing time. I think players the likes of Sadiq Umar and also Ademola Lookman had issues then. So the unity that this particular set, Eguavoen will be able to instill in this particular set of boys, in these 2 games was very, very obvious. In the space of 1 week, was able to do that. Why is the NFF still dragging their legs behind? Give him a 6-month contract, a 1-year contract. Let's see what's going to achieve in the space of this period. Then if he's able to take the boys to greater heights, fine. He's doing the job already. Why go to Spain, Germany, and go and meet people that will come home and you will say they're not coming again? But I think it's high time. I don't know even what to do with the angle Taribo West is coming from. I don't know which one is grace again. If you're good at your job, you're good at the job. I don't know the grace you're looking for, except maybe the NFF. At this point, NFF should not be leaving what we have in our hands and be going to the bush to go and look for what we don't know.
All right, and of course, Akoi Grace, in the words of Portable there, and of course, Mario knows who we are talking about. Even definitely is your friendly neighbor, Hood Spider-Man. Okay, your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, he knows how to make the jumps and so on and so forth. And definitely he has 1 or 2 things to say about Grace. All right, let's talk about the Nigerian Football Federation. Just before we came to the studio this afternoon, we're waiting on the communique from that meeting. But as we speak, we've not heard anything from that meeting because big decisions were going to be made today as regards the Super Eagles coaching position, as well as some other positions, the Chan Eagles, and they're talking about the Super Falcons of Nigeria. We'll wait to hear what the decision of the NFF is going forward as far as those very juicy positions is concerned when it comes to our national football teams, the Super Falcons, the Super Eagles, and of course the Chan Eagles. If you were in that meeting, what should be your say?
Just look at the amount of just look at the amount of positions we are looking for head coach for. The Super Eagles, the Super Falcons, we are coachless. The Super Eagles has been going on for about 7 months, going to the 8th month. Today is already the 19th of
Libya's
September.
coach just got fired, and we're hearing that a coach will be hired very soon.
That's a FA that knows what they are doing. You can't tell me that the NFF knows what they are doing and it's taking them
The NFL has been politicized.
almost 8 months and they are still yet to give us a coach. At this point, then just give us anybody. Because I see no reason why you'll be going up and down, getting news. You go to the estate, the Achanigos, we have a competition in less than how many months. I think that should be taken serious too. It's just rather sad that the NFF allow things go on and on until when it's very important, on the dying minute before they take steps. Let's hope that the result of this meeting is positive. That's just the most important thing at this point.
All right, let's hope the result of this meeting is positive. Talking about the NFF, who are meeting currently. If that meeting is not over as we speak. Maiwa, there are three very positions they will be talking about. The Super Eagles coaching position, the Super Falcons, and the Chan Eagles. I hope that Salisu Yusuf will not be drafted to the Chan Eagles again. He has tested it before, and it was a total failure. And
well, the thing is, the irony of this is this: Eguavoen will be part of that meeting. I will be trying to determine who will take over from him. I think it's no brainer that we are still dragging on this. We have a whole lot of local coaches that can do the job. Remember, the news broke earlier. Victor Agali was criticizing the NFF and the rest of that as regards them not giving the local coaches a shouting chance, and as regards them going back to talk to Lambardia and the rest of that. It shows the kind of I don't know, the kind of umbilical cord that the NFF has tied to a foreign coach. I think if I were to be in the meeting, definitely one of the things I will be advocating for is a local coach. I think the local coach, they've proven themselves enough. Eguavoen is a typical example of what the local coaches could do. And also, the technical committee, one of their resolutions should be that the local coach they will be hiring. The first one should be they should hire a local coach. The second one should be, and local coaches for all the positions vacant, not the one that they hired a college coach for our Super Falcons and the guy was shuttling between Nigeria and US. That's number one. Number two, there needs to be a plan. That's one of the another resolution that should come out from this meeting should be there needs to be a concrete plan in terms of how payments will be made to these people. No matter who you appoint, it will be a disgrace. It's always disgraceful and embarrassing when we have people thinking our national team suffering before they get paid. I mean, there should be a solid plan on ground as regards that. Number three, I mean, we should not give the job based on quota system. Remember, the usual way of appointing coaches in Nigeria is more of if the Super Eagles coach it goes to somebody from the south, definitely maybe somebody from the north gets the under 20 and the rest of that, because I mean that will not take us forward. So those three things that should be the basic resolution that they should come out with. Anything apart from that, the meeting will just be inconsequential. I think it's high time the NFF as the technical committee begins to throw their weight behind our local coaches. The local coaches will be able to deliver results. All the vacant positions should be filled by local coaches. We have a whole lot of quality now in Nigeria here, and I think it's time for the NFF to give them the opportunity to be able to, show what they can in terms of taking our teams forward.
All right, of course, Maiwa has it and saying that the positions should be filled by local coaches. I want to know how our viewers feel about that as far as the coaching position of the Super Eagles, the Super Falcons, and the Chan Eagles is concerned. Do you go for the position to be given to local coaches, or the foreign coaches should be brought in?
I think that's the right thing to do. Looking at what the coaches do in the local league, what is their end result? Do you expect them to be the MPFL coach for forever? Like there should be chances for them to improve themselves. To be like, okay, the end goal is maybe if you are good enough to be a club manager and your club is successful in the MPFL, maybe you can get the Super Eagles job, maybe you can get the Super Falcons job.
So you should reward.
There should be reward some for your effort.
Super Eagles position.
Not like, yeah, I think that's an idea. Instead of keeping them in the local league where they keep on moving from one MPFL club to another, there should be a way for improvement and promotion or something. Instead of us leaving the talents we have in the MPFL and are going to just imagine a Anderson. Anderson has not been coaching for for how long? And you are trying to convince him to come and be the head coach of the Super Eagles. Is that how desperate we are for coaches? Is it that the whole of Nigeria cannot produce one person that will lead these boys? So I think it's high time we look inward and let go of the foreign coach for now. At least they have not done anything great for us in the past. Looking at, it's not like any of them is going to promise us that they'll take us to the semi-finals of the World Cup. And it's not like any one of them is going to promise us winning the World Cup. So, and you cannot tell me that our local coaches cannot push us to win the AFCON qualifiers and take us to the finals or even win the competition by themselves. So I think it's high time we just leave that trial and error drama of going for foreign coaches. And then don't forget how it has ended in the past. It was always end with us not even being able to pay them. And they'll keep on, and they'll go to the media that we have been owing them for about how many months. Even if they sign for $30,000, in the next 3, 6, 8 months, it will become a problem for the NFF to pay. And I'm sure no local coach will want to collect up to $50,000 or $40,000 in this Nigeria. So it's high time we just look inward instead of going out at this point.
The amazing thing is that they say they've already found a sponsor who's going to pay the coach.
The sponsor said, we were here together. The sponsor said it was going to last for about 10 months.
Yes. So
after the 10 months, what will happen?
Yeah, let the coach come in and start working.
No, you have to see, one of the problems I think the Super Eagles is facing and the NFF is that we are not thinking long term. We are only thinking 1 year, 6 months, and it's not going to take us anywhere. Or maybe the success of any football team is not about a month or 6 months. Let's look at the club Liverpool. When the club came into took over from when he left Dortmund and took over Liverpool, I can't remember the year exactly. Did they win anything the first year? The second year, I think maybe the second or the third year, they didn't win. There was no much success for the first 3 years. And they were signing players and signing that. If Liverpool had pursued him, that's okay, you're not good enough and gotten somebody, we would have gotten the League title and the Champions League and gotten into the finals of the Champions League back to back. I think running a team, they should try to focus on long term and not the short term. Even if we get a Renard and the sponsor space for 10 months, after the 10 months, what will happen? NFF cannot pay for that 10 months without problem. And Renard is somebody that is not quiet. We know somebody that will not, he's not a coach, he's not a person that will, or around the world that will take it in and not complain. So I think it's high time we focus on long term. Somebody will know that we can pay without any problem. And I think the obvious answer is in a local coach, a Nigerian, that will take this job to the next level. Instead of us going to go and get somebody that will earn $60,000 and after a year it will be a problem for us and we'll have to let him go and we'll come back to the same circle of us looking for a coach again. I think it's high time we just stop short term.
James, the thing is, you may mention something as regards, putting in place a plan as regards, paying of coach and the rest of that, and which is very, 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 very important. I don't think the NFF takes that as something that is important. First of all, if you are running an organization, there is something very simple called budget. What is the budget of the NFF? Who is giving a report on how money has been spent? There should be money allocated for the payment of coaches. A typical organization at the beginning of the year, they already have an allocated budget that is set aside to take care of salaries and the rest of that.
Well, we don't hear that the NFF president and their officials.
No matter what, and that's different from reporting in place. We have that kind of budget in place. And that's the reason why we continue to struggle over and over again with regards to paying of coaches. To be honest with you, even the NFF themselves, they don't have a budget as regards the kind of coach they want to bring in. If they have a budget in place, they will already know what they have in their coffers, and they will be able to know the kind of coaches they will go for. And that's the reason why they are going for coaches that they cannot afford. You remember the case of Averena, when we know for a fact that we can't pay any coach $180,000 monthly. They decided to go and talk to Averena. It shows somebody that does not, plan properly, and that's the reason why I said one of the resolutions for this meeting. If that resolution is not there, the meeting will just be a waste of time. Because even if we bring in the best of the best and you continue to owe them, obviously they will leave, and we have to start this process again. We have to go through the trauma of waiting almost a year before getting a coach again. And I don't think I want to go through that as a Nigerian and as a football lover.
All right, let's see how that one pans out. But unfortunately, we've never heard them come out to protest that the NFF president and the vice are being owed salaries. We only hear that coaches are being owed.
They pay themselves.
Salaries.
They obviously pay themselves.
They make arrangements for themselves, like the National Assembly does. They make arrangements.
You cannot. Will you owe yourself salary?
It is well. It is well. All right. Former CAF Player of the Year, talking about Emmanuel Amuneke, has joined Victor Eguavoen in backing Ademola Lookman to win the top individual award in African football. And Lookman's impressive form, which includes a memorable hat-trick in the UEFA Europa League final and key goals in the Super Eagles AFCON campaign, has earned him a nomination for the 2024 Ballon d'Or. And Amuneke believes that if Lookman continues to play at this level, he's likely to be crowned the CAF Player of the Year. And the Nigerian coach praised Lookman's performance in the recent game against Rwanda, stating that it showed his ability to adapt to African football. Amuneke also expressed his hope that a Nigerian player winning the award would be a major boost for the country's football. And I think if you want to look at the stats and this performance so far this year, you want to say that Ademola Lookman stands tall above every other players on the continent as far as the African Footballer of the Year is concerned.
Yeah, at this point, I think it's not a debate. I don't think there's anybody in the same conversation with him. And let's not forget, he has also started his season in a good way. Just concluded this last weekend, I think he was on the score sheet and also provided an assist. And let's look at what he's going to do tonight against Arsenal also. I think at this point, it's quite very obvious that he's going to be the African Player of the Year. I'm seeing conversation of people trying to sneak in Brahim Diaz into the conversation. But I'm seeing, what has Brahim Diaz done? What did he do last season? What has he done this season?
Boniface did better than him.
Even Boniface at the point did better than him. Let's not forget that also.
Most points.
If they want to even bring in Brahim Diaz, we can also sneak in Boniface. Because he was able, let's not forget Boniface.
Even Osimhen,
I'll not back Osimhen. But Boniface, let's not forget Boniface was also made the move to the German league last year. He won the Rookie of the Year for the month for like first 3 or 4 months, and at the end of the campaign, he was also the Rookie of the Year. He was also in the Team of the Year. I think he had about 17 or 18 goals. I can't even remember at this point. So I think Boniface also had a good season. If you are going to come from the angle of Brahim Diaz, what was Brahim Diaz's number last season? He might rely on the fact that Real Madrid were able to win the Champions League and also, but what was his contribution in those competitions? So I think anybody that tries to sneak in Brahim Diaz into this thing is just trying to create banter. But at this point, it's obvious Ademola Lookman should be getting this award at this assistance.
All right, Maiwa, are you in agreement with Amuneke that Victor, talking about Ademola Lookman, is the man for the African Player of the Year?
Well, we first of all said it on this show before anybody started picking it up that Ademola Lookman is the next African Footballer of the Year, and it's good that people are picking it up. I hope Amuneke and co they continue to follow us because we always call it first. The thing is, Ademola Lookman has given a good account of himself. I mean, the performance has been so fantastic, except maybe, and I'm not throwing short at Musepe, but maybe except Musepe decides to, do something magical. There's no two way about it. As tomorrow's sun will rise, Ademola Lookman will be the next African Footballer of the Year. I don't think any African player in Europe has been able to achieve what he's been able to achieve in the last 1 year. Even if you are talking about people who might even be competing for that particular role, probably maybe we might say Victor Boniface coming second. I don't think any other African player had much more fantastic season more than Ademola Lookman. And the conversation about Brahim Diaz is just more of an agenda, and I think it's a dead on arrival agenda. I don't think the contribution of Brahim Diaz to what Real Madrid achieved last year is as phenomenal as what Ademola Lookman did for Atlanta, and he has even continued in that same form, coming on the backdrop of his performance in the Nations Cup qualifier. Going back to Atlanta and showing the kind of class he has. 2 goals contribution, 1 assist, 1 goal scored, shows the kind of quality he possesses. There's no two way about it. Ademola Lookman is the next African Footballer of the Year, no matter how you look at it.
All right, let's go to the UEFA Champions League action last night. We saw lots of games. and despite Club Brugge's 3-0 defeat to Borussia Dortmund in the UEFA Champions League, Super Eagles midfielder Rafael Onyedika received praise for his impressive performance. And of course, he was named the man of the match in one of the talking about the blogs out there. And Onyedika losing by 3 goals to 0 against Borussia Dortmund for his club side Club Brugge at home. Definitely the poor result. We also saw games where Manchester City and Inter Milan played out a goalless draw. And of course, even over 0.5 was not even accounted for last night. It was a disappointing run for the bookies. And of course, Mario, I hope your money was not on Man City. And definitely Man City dashed the hopes with a lot of hopefuls who were planning to
well,
cash out.
you were saying over 2.5 yesterday, and I was smiling to myself when you said over 2.5. I was just smiling to see exactly how that will play out. However, it was an interesting, meet for Nigerian players. Remember, there's a particular Olatunji who plays for Sparta Prague. He was also on song yesterday, scoring for his team. And Nigerians are beginning to give a good account of themselves in the Champions League. Inter Milan, they came out offing and puffing, and somebody was even mocking Haaland. You see him in the EPL, but when it comes to the Champions League, he becomes a lion in the EPL. But when it comes to the Champions League, he turns into a cat that the rain has beaten. And the jury is still out on him in terms of his performance in the Champions League. However, kudos to the Inter Milan team. They were able to hold Man City. They didn't allow Man City a whole lot of space. And once again, we have seen the importance of Rodri. If Rodri is not in the team, Man City always struggles. And that's one of the things that played out yesterday again. To be honest with you, I think Man City is becoming, a team that is tied around Rodri. The moment you don't see Rodri, you already know that, you probably have a shot at, doing anything against them. Rodri did not, give a good account of himself yesterday. He was a bit absent. I remember this is due to the fact that he's just coming back with a whole lot of games and the rest of that, and that's the reason why a Man City could not perform excellently well. However, kudos to Inter Milan coming to the Etihad and holding Man City to a goalless draw. It just shows the kind of quality Inter Milan possesses. To be honest with you.
All right. We also must say that Man City also had begging chances. Most especially Gundogan's last minute, was in the 88th minute header that he failed to convert. Even twice, he had 2 of those chances to convert. And of course, Erling Haaland is markable. Sometimes when I make comments about these players, some people say I come from the part of being biased or trying to make an argument because I don't support Manchester City. Erling Haaland is a great player. I say in big games, sometimes he goes missing. And the fact that he's markable also is one of those things. When he sees Ipswich, he will roar like a lion. You will see him everywhere eating up the defenders. But when it comes to games, just watch. Let's even see the game against Arsenal. Though even Arsenal in recent times have become a rock-solid defense between Saliba and Gabriel Magalhaes. But definitely, they were also unlucky because they also had chances to have won that game. Even Inter Milan had a game plan to at least make sure they didn't get to concede. And they did that beautifully well, courtesy of Inzaghi's tactical know-how. But definitely not going to be a different kettle of fish. The team they meet next.
Credit to Inzaghi, and I think it felt very compact and choked. And make sure likes of Kevin De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva were not getting the chance to get the ball up to Haaland. And I think any team that is able to cancel out the City midfield and cancel their crazy players from getting the ball to Haaland, I think Haaland is going to have a quiet game. We have seen it in the past. We have seen different teams do it over the years, and even in Champions League last season, we also saw it. When they play against teams that don't have the midfield or the capability to mark out their midfield, that's when you see the best of Haaland. And I think Haaland just have to do better in this game. I think yesterday he even made a little bit of changes compared to what he used to do last season. Last season, if he's not able to get the balls from the midfield, he stays in the box all through. But last night I was still seeing he was still making some runs into the midfield, trying to join play and trying to move it up front. And he missed a couple of chances also that he could have gotten his name on the score sheet. But credit to the Inzaghi side, the Inter Milan game plan was obvious. Come in, choke the midfield, make sure you don't concede and try to hit them on the counter. Inter also had a couple of chances to get a goal also, but as Fitz could have it, 0-0, a very surprising result. Nobody expected 0-0 from that game.
All right, of course, we also must give it to Sommer, talking about the goalkeeper of Inter Milan in that one. It was also a good result for them. We also saw PSG nicking it against Girona. And,
that PSG side there, God.
I think if we were to be in a military dictator country, Dembele should have been collecting some sticks right now.
I mean, how does Dembele? How do you not score that goal? How do you get a one-on-one and you waited for the defender?
He was practically strolling.
He was dressing the ball.
He was practically strolling in a UEFA Champions League game. You are one-on-one with the goalkeeper. The distance between him and the centre back was still like a lot. And I was looking at it, the way he was moving, I was saying they will catch Dembele with this thing he was doing. No, before he was trying to dress the ball.
I think he should refund all the money he has collected this month.
Not just them. If they had not gotten full 3 points in that game, I think they should have held Dembele responsible. And also Luis Enrique for making him play for the whole 90 minutes is something I'm even surprised. Take him off
to play who?
But James, the thing is this: they don't even deserve the 3 points.
That's the thing. It was sad the goalkeeper just made that blunder. I felt so bad for him because he had kept them in the team. He had made some impressive saves over the course of the 90. Yeah.
I mean, to be honest with you, they don't deserve that particular win. And sorry, I wanted to mention something as regards the Man City team. I think Guardiola needs to evolve. The moment Rodri does not play well, the team does not do well. Yesterday, Rodri did not play well, and it affected the team a whole lot. Yes, they had their chances, but because Rodri is not the usual Rodri that used to turn up, it really affected their play. And I think Guardiola needs to evolve if he wants to do anything fantastic, in this particular Champions League season. For the Inter Milan Girona, if not for the blunder, the mistake the goalkeeper made. I mean, to be honest, it happens to the best of us, and sometimes mistake is part of football. PSG does not deserve any 3 points in that particular game. How can you create a whole lot of chances and you don't have the capability to be able to take those chances? And that's the reason why Jerry was saying something about, I think last week or 2 weeks ago, that PSG will never win the Champions League. And it sounded like a joke. To be honest with you, I don't think they will win the Champions League in the next 10 years with this kind of crop of players. Because how do you have those clear chances and you are not taking them, and you are even strolling and waiting for the defender to come and kick the ball away? I still don't get it. To be honest with you, I don't get it.
I think he was making, maybe would I say he has a short decision making span, because a top forward will surely know what to do. Imagine if Salah was in that position. I think he would just go to bed and just say 1-0 before even he gets to that place. Imagine you have Lionel Messi in that situation, or Cristiano Ronaldo. You would have gone to sleep and forgotten about that encounter, that it's already a goal. So sometimes it depends on the player in those situations. And Dembele has proven to be one player who misses a lot of chances. And there's something about even the Champions League. Do you know that all his time at Barcelona, when Barcelona were hot and doing well, when Dembele even joined them, Dembele never scored a Champions League goal. He had to wait until he moved to PSG. Was it 2 seasons ago that he eventually had a goal, his first goal in the Champions League? That's how sometimes I don't want to use the word useless, because that's how Dembele has qualified himself to be when it comes to the Champions League.
I think Dembele, the Dembele that started at Dortmund, that we used to see like he has a great talent, has really depreciated a lot. Looking at the game yesterday, it shows how he has fallen. I remember his time at Dortmund, we used to consider him one of the best players, one of the best young stars. At the point where considering what Yamal used to be, what Yamal is currently, that's what we used to look at Dembele then. And now look at the great Dembele now. Yes, they playing a very poor performance. Even looking at last season, I think the best game he had all through last season in Champions League was the one against Barcelona. I think the home game against Barcelona. And now this season has continued the same way. It was really sad that Girona couldn't get the result. I felt bad for them. They have got, at least they deserve to lead that match with a point with the way PSG played. And the way it's looking, Luis Enrique has a very serious job cut out for him. I pray he's able to do well and he does not get fired. The life after Mbappe has been a tough one for him. Well, he has Bakola, who is stepping up.
This was the team that was dilly-dallying with the opportunity of signing Victor Osimhen or Ademola Lookman. And look at the option they have in the Champions League. Imagine Ademola Lookman and Victor Osimhen, or Victor Osimhen was in that game yesterday. It would have been a different kettle of fish.
I wonder why Yao Neves, who has been their best player all through the season, was on the bench, not up to the 70th minute. I wonder what was Luis Enrique thinking.
We are of the opinion that the likes of Thuram and Gonçalo Ramos can save them. They've spent a lot of money on Gonçalo Ramos and Thuram. Look at Thuram yesterday.
Funny enough, how Gonçalo Ramos did he play? Kolo Muani was the person, not Thuram. I was wondering why you're calling me. Look at Kolo Muani. Kolo Muani had about how many chances?
Kolo Muani
had about how many chances to score? And where I was watching the guy football, the guy was like, nobody best way 3 week chance for final.
You remember I told you that Muani is not reliable. It's not, those are not the strikers you rely on. I told you, I said so.
Jerry, the thing is this, remember I think about 2 months ago, we spoke about this same matter, the PSG team, and the unreliability of the people they have in front. And it's coming to bear right now. I mean, how do you build your team around an inconsistent Dembele, a Kolo Muani that does not know where the goal is, Thuram's son, what's his name? I can't remember the first name.
Gonçalo Ramos.
Playing for them. I don't know. How can you build your team around these inconsistent players and you want to excel in the Champions League and you have an Osimhen who was, who had this club situation with Napoli and you are not breaking the bank for him? How do you move forward in the Champions League with a player like Dembele? How do you intend to want to achieve great performance? How? I don't get out some coaches reason. I hope they are able to rectify their mistake in January. Probably this string of poor display in front of goal will probably trigger them to bring Osimhen back from Galatasaray. Because personally, for me, I think Osimhen has a whole lot of quality, more than the Turkish league. No disrespect to the Turkish league, but I think his talent and his quality it should be better.
I don't want to see him. I don't want to see him.
Galatasaray, to be honest.
I don't want to see him in that Paris Saint-Germain team, that PSG team. Let's not forget how the PSG has been over the years. Going to buy Osimhen for about 70 or 80 million at the end of the day, and they play such a game, they will look for the closest black person they can attack. I'm surprised. Maybe I've not been online on there. I've not noticed what's going on with Dembele at this moment. But looking at that PSG team, I don't think Osimhen is the only solution they will get. It's not going to solve all their problem.
They were creating chances yesterday. If you had an Osimhen in that game, I mean, they created
also chances. Don't forget his pressure.
Imagine the one-on-one of Ousmane Dembele.
His pressure in the attack definitely will create a lot of difference.
The Dembele one is breaking my head. It's busting my head. And let's not forget that was not the only chance he misplaced. He had other chances also in the first half, and it was just
And the fact that most of those PSG players, they have the potential to be great players, but they decided to become average and below average anytime.
When you look at the names they have in their team, they have essentially an injury-prone player. But looking at the team, they have a Fabian Ruiz who was incredibly well in the just concluded Euros. They have the Nuno Mendes who does very, very well with the Portugal national team. He was even the one that played the ball that went to the net. He was the one that made that crossing, and I think he was the man of the match of the game. You look at the goalkeeper. Is he good? The goalkeeper? Is he the defense? What's lacking in that team? I don't know. They have good midfielders. They have the attackers that can do the numbers. I just don't know what's lacking with the PSG team. If they replicate such performance in this competition, I think they should be prepared to go and fight home and away. They will not make it to the top 8 or the top 12. The top 8 that will get the automatic qualifications into the next round.
All right, talking about tonight's game, Arsenal takes on Ademola Lookman's Atlanta, and of course, PSG scouts should make sure they watch that game and see how a striker really does it when it comes to scoring goals. And hopefully Ademola Lookman will get the numbers. Mikel Arteta has already said that he's admiring the Atlanta side. If you admire them so much, you should have copped Ademola Lookman. And of course, hopefully he gets to score a hat-trick against Arsenal tonight?
Ikechukwu will not forgive us if he scores a hat-trick.
Why will he not forgive?
Yeah,
He should be happy his brother is scoring a hat-trick.
And he, at the detriment of his own club.
Yeah, Arsenal will have to regret not signing him.
Arteta is admiring Atlanta. I hope he will not admire them into losing 3-0 against them, because I mean, I don't understand why you're admiring somebody you are supposed to buy. You didn't buy him. Now they want to play against you and you're admiring them. The bottom line is, I think the way Atlanta has been able to set up, over the weekend shows that they have intentions in Europe, and for the sake of Ademola Lookman, because of the kind of quality Ademola Lookman has, to be an interesting game this night. However, the injury concerns for Arsenal, I hope it doesn't come back to bite them, in the behind today. I hope some of their players that were out over the weekend, remember they struggled to win their game against Tottenham, leaving it a bit late. I hope they are able to do a makeshift and able to contain the Atlanta team. Remember, going to Italy to play Atlanta at home is a bit difficult. I think they call that stadium Bergamo or something like that. I think that's the name of the stadium. Going to the Bergamo stadium is a bit difficult, and I hope Atlanta and Ademola Lookman give a good account of themselves. I'm looking forward to that particular game. I'll probably, if I were a betting man, I'll probably say Atlanta will take this game, maybe a 3-1 or a 3-2.
All right, for tonight's game, because of time, we have Zvezda taking on Benfica. There's Feyenoord up against Bayer Leverkusen.
Which has already started.
Boniface gets a goal in that one. They also have Atlanta taking on Arsenal. There's Atletico Madrid up against Leipzig. That's also another cracker to look forward to. Brett taking on Sturm Graz. There's Monaco up against Barcelona. This is another very interesting game to look forward to tonight. And of course, Maya, before you go, what's the high point for you? Maybe Atlanta Arsenal?
Well, Atlanta Arsenal definitely is a big game for me. Then, I want to track our boys. I want to see what a Victor Boniface will do in the Champions League. I mean, let's see what he can do against a Feyenoord, and let's see how Alonso will be able to file out in the Champions League. I mean, the jury is still out on him, but I'm waiting to see what he'll be able to do with the Bayern Leverkusen team this season.
All right, have a great one tonight. My it's a pleasure having you.
It's always amazing to be here, and I hope Victor Boniface and Ademola Lookman, they do the magic tonight, irrespective of where the feelings of Ikechukwu. I hope Atlanta and Bayern Leverkusen do the magic tonight.
All right, irrespective of his feelings, James as well.
I'm definitely. I'll go the same route with Maya. I want to see what the Nigerian boys can do this tonight. I think Boniface should be on the field already. The Leverkusen match already started, and let's see what Ademola Lookman can do later on tonight. And also, I want to see what Barcelona is going to look like. They've been doing very well in the league. Can they replicate that in the Champions League? We'll see.
All right, of course, big thanks to the guys behind the scene, talking about the likes of Manfred, Sam, not leaving out Jeremiah, and of course, Ikechukwu, the Gunners man. My name is Jerry Apelo. I say thanks for being a part of the show. And to meet again, stay safe, enjoy UEFA Champions League.